Good morning or good afternoon or good evening whenever you are watching this video. Hi, if you are new here, my name is Naomi and I do videos on this channel for starters about certain things to do with immigration, but I'm trying to work my way into newer videos and into some fun ones in the future. But for now, today's video is a little bit of immigration with a little bit of something else. I'd really love it if you watch the video, and if you're new here, please have a look at some of my other videos. I hope they will be helpful. If you are a subscriber and you have been watching all my other videos, hi, welcome back, and thank you so much to everyone for clicking on this video. Today's video is a bit of a different video, and it's been a video that I have sort of debated with myself about doing, but I decided it should probably get done. If I get a bit emotional in this video, it is because I'm going to be talking about something that is emotionally difficult for me and for my family, but I'm hoping that you guys will try and understand that we all go through different things in this life, and sometimes sharing your experience can help somebody else if they are going through something that is, I will not say as difficult as this, because I wouldn't wish this on anybody, but I'll get into it in the video. If you've gone through this, I hope that this video can help you. So if this is your first video that you are watching of mine, just a little bit of background about myself and my family. We lived in South Africa. We actually lived in Pietermaritzburg, KwaZulu-Natal. And we decided that we were going to immigrate in 2019, but by the time all the process was started, Martin left in March 2020, just before COVID. So the girls and I were actually still in South Africa during COVID, and we had to sort of learn to live without him while I was being a single mom to the girls, and it wasn't so bad because we were all at home together. But yeah, once our visas were ready, we were able to come over to England. So we arrived in England in November 2020. So yeah, that's just a bit of backstory about that. So one of the things about immigrating is you always want to take your things with you. Obviously, if you are in the process of immigrating and you want to take your things with you, the first thing you need to do is you need to check with whomever your shipping company is, a list of prohibited things and a list of things that is allowed in the UK. Well, wherever you're going, sorry, not particularly the UK, it could be anywhere. Please make sure to always check that before you start packing your boxes or before you start deciding what to take with you. If you are not immigrating and you're just watching this video, just to see what it's about, if you have a look around your house, you will see many things that you value or you love, or they were given to you by a loved one, and those are special to you. Those are the items that you would consider special. So the items that we needed, and I'm putting that in inverted commas because in all honesty, yes, we do need things, but we don't really need them, if you know what I'm saying. To come with us could fit into 14 or 15 boxes. So they're quite big boxes. We contacted the shipping company or the transport company, whichever way you want to look at it, that we chose. Again, this is something we checked reviews on Facebook, we checked reviews on Google. They fitted within our budget that we had for, that we had in mind for getting our boxes across from South Africa to England. The company was very organized. Once we had packed all the boxes, making sure not to put anything that was prohibited in the boxes, we made contact with the shipping company. The shipping company came. They didn't pack the boxes, we labeled the boxes. This is something that you do need to, if you are immigrating, you need to make sure you list everything on the boxes. Unfortunately, we were very silly and we forgot to take photos of every label, but I do remember what was in the majority of the boxes, so I'll get into that. You need to make sure that they are aware of what's in the boxes, and you need to label your boxes. So we label them box 1, box 2, box 3. You can label it box kitchen, box lounge, however you want to do it. They came, they loaded all of our boxes onto a pallet, and they then sealed it up with a cling film type of wrapping. Once they had done all of that, they had loaded it into their truck. They took it off to the warehouse. Now, again, please remember, we have made sure that there is nothing prohibited in there, and the box went into their warehouse. It gets labeled, it gets marked, and we start to pay a fee for the time that our boxes are in that warehouse. If you have not immigrated, or you are not planning on immigrating and you're just watching this video, anybody who's immigrated will tell you that immigration is a very expensive process. There is a lot of things that need to get done, and there is a cost for everything because people charge you for everything. And one of those things is transport and shipping is expensive. The quote that we got at the time, so March 2020, the quote we got was between 10 and 11,000 Rand. Now, I don't remember what the exchange rate was back then in 2020, but I have looked at the exchange rate now, and that would cost in the region of 450 pounds. Okay, so rands to pounds, approximately 11,000 Rand, approximately 450 pounds. Now, 450 pounds doesn't sound like a lot of money, but it is a lot of money when you get into the other details. So I'm going to get into a few of the other details. The visas on their own, just the four visas, cost us 10,000 pounds. Okay, not rands, pounds. So we were already in 10,000 pounds. And then we had the flights to get to the UK. So our flights were approximately £1,000. I'm rounding off here. It was about £1,000 for the four of us to get from Durban to Gatwick Airport here in the UK. So altogether, we were looking at close on £12,000. Sorry, yes, about £12,000, because you've got other things that need to get done. You've got admin charges. You've also got to pay your immigration consultant. So we were looking at approximately £12,000. To add another call it £500 on top of that was just a bit of a stretch for us at that time. So what we did is we approached the shipping company and we said to them, could we go over and then get our boxes shipped over at a different time, and would we be able to leave them with you and rent, continue to pay a storage fee, and then when we are ready, could you, when we have the money together, could you bring the boxes over to us? And they said, yes, absolutely. They do that for quite a few of their clients. They were more than happy to do that. We continued to pay the fee to have it stored in their warehouse in Pietermaritzburg. Now, the other thing that you need to know if you are wanting to ship things over, here to the UK, it's a TOR number, which stands for something. I can't remember what it is, but it does stand for something. And you have to apply to the government for a TOR number. And you have to tell them everything that is in your boxes. That's why your boxes get labeled, okay? Because you need to tell the country you're going into what is coming into their country. So we were almost ready. We almost got the money. We were almost there. And it was time for us to now register for a TOR number. So I started making contact. I got all the necessary documents that I needed for a TOR number, and I was on the way to submitting, asking for a TOR number. If you are a South African, or you are a South African living anywhere in the world, I'm pretty sure that you would have heard of the riots that happened in July 2021. It was a absolute terrible time in South Africa. I don't want to say it was just KZN. I'm pretty sure it was quite a bit of the country. There was huge riots going on. In July 2021, we got a phone call from our shipping company to say that the rioters had broken into the warehouse where our things were and had either stolen or damaged everything, including our boxes. Now, please, I'm not trying to say that this is only something that happened to us. There were hundreds of other things in that warehouse. It was not just our stuff. So there was other people who were going through this like us. Okay, to explain this to you, in South Africa around this time, there had been horrible riots. There was damage done. The people were rioting in the streets. They were burning buildings. They were looting shops, and they were just overall making a huge amount of mess that they were not going to clean up. And on top of it, it was costing the taxpayers of South Africa money. We got WhatsApp messages from the girls' friends, from our family and things, because we still have family living in South Africa. So we saw this. People sent us pictures. They sent us videos. We have seen this. It's real, and it was very real. Our family members were scared. Lots of people in the communities were scared, and I know that people had to queue for food. A family member of mine had to go and stand in a queue to buy bread, because the rioters were not only stealing food, but they were also they'd stolen the food, and they were burning the trucks that were taking the food to the shops. Okay, so you now have a shortage of food because of the rioters. Okay, so people were queuing to get food, and there were also people that were in the communities that were organizing neighborhood watches to keep their homes and their families safe. So we knew this was all going on because, like I said, we had family, we have friends, we could see on Facebook. Look, there wasn't much coverage of it on the news. Boxes were in a warehouse, the rioters came along, they broke into the warehouse, they either stole or destroyed our boxes and other people's boxes. So here in England, I was at home, it was a Monday morning, I was busying myself with normal household chores, and my phone rang. It was Martin. He didn't know what to say to me. He kept saying to me, I don't know how to tell you. And I said to him, you're going to have to tell me. I'm pretty sure you can imagine how the conversation went. There was a lot of sadness. There was a lot of anger. As soon as I got off the phone, I sobbed. Okay. I understand that this sounds so silly. How can you cry over things? At least you were safe. At least your family was safe. But I will get into why this hurt me so much. Okay. So now I want to try and get into why I'm so upset about the stuff that got lost in the boxes. So, like I said to you in the beginning, look around your house, have a look at things that are special to you, things that you treasure, things that loved ones have given you, and then imagine putting them in a box. Okay, so let me start with things like, I need you to understand, I wasn't cared. I couldn't give a damn about things like the Blu-ray player, the speakers, the tablets, the speaker for a computer, you know, a Bluetooth speaker, Blu-rays, DVD. I didn't care about those things. Those things are all completely and totally replaceable. It's the things that are irreplaceable that have upset me. And I'm going to give you some of them so that you can get an idea of why I am upset, you know, why it upset me as much as it did. And Hannah and Leah, all three of our daughters are very avid readers. All three of them love to read, and they had quite a substantial collection of books. The one whole box, I mean a big box, was just books. Okay, some of those books are irreplaceable. They are books that the kids have got over the years. There were some books in there that had come from my childhood that I had passed on to the girls. It's not really their books, but all three of their baby books, all three of the girls' baby books were in there. I had a Bible that my dad gave me when I was 16. It has a special message in it. It is a study Bible. I had written notes in the margin. I had highlighted things. It was a very treasured Bible. And yes, maybe this is my fault for putting it in the box, but I lost that Bible. On that note, Martin did say to me, maybe someone who needed the Bible got it somehow. So you never know. I had some very sentimental Garfield coffee mugs. I had from I had a stepdad. Unfortunately, he passed away in the year 2000 from cancer. But while he was my stepdad, over a couple of months, he collected me some Garfield coffee mugs that were very special to me. And I had held on to them from teenage years right up until into my own home. And those were in the boxes. There was a tea set that got left to me by my grandmother that was in the boxes. It's completely irreplaceable. I cannot replace that tea set. And there was a whole dinner service. It didn't match the tea set, but it was a whole dinner service. I mean, it had a gravy boat, it had this, it had that, it had everything you can imagine in a dinner service was in that box. It's gone. Many display items. I am a collector of royal family memorabilia. A few of those, I had a few pieces, not a lot, but a few pieces, all gone. Fridge magnets that were sentimental, you know, places I had gone to, things like that. People had gifted me certain fridge magnets, gone. Mom had bought me a beautiful cake knife. I think you call it a cake knife. It's a thing that you slice the cake with. That it had a mother of pearl handle, gone. Like I said, we lived in Pietermaritzburg. For anybody who knows Pietermaritzburg, we had the Liberty Midlands Mall. And one Christmas, they had a special that they would give away a carving set to anybody who bought vouchers for over 1,000 Rand, South African Rand. And Martin did, and we got a really beautiful carving set. It was a carving knife with a carving fork, and it was in a beautiful case. And it had the Liberty Mall on it. It was beautiful. It was that was in the boxes. That's something that's irreplaceable. Okay. Family photos. Yes. Okay. I know what you're thinking. Why didn't you scan them? And no, I didn't. I didn't scan the photos. I'm probably at fault here. All of our hard copy photos, photos from my childhood, photos from Martin's childhood, photos from our own children's childhood, parasol photos of our family, gone. Martin's school photos, my school photos. For some reason, something in my head said, don't put the girls' school photos in there. And I kept them with me, and they actually flew with me in my suitcase here to England. So the girls' school photos were saved, thank goodness. But there were other things, lots of other little things that, you know, were part of the photos of our childhood, my school reports, Martin's school reports, things like that. Framed photos, things like that. We have a massive A3 size wedding photo of ourselves, gone. You know, okay, that's not irreplaceable, that can be reprinted, but the frame is irreplaceable. Now, Christmas decorations. For anybody who has children, you know your children make beautiful Christmas decorations at Christmas time. They bring them home, you hang them on the tree, they're special. There was quite a few ones that people had bought for my kids over the years. There's special ones that we had bought for the kids over the years. Irreplaceable, because it's your children's hard work. I had my maiden name family crest, gone. All of my porcelain dolls. Now, if you watched my charity shop video, you saw I spoke about buying porcelain dolls in the UK. All of my porcelain dolls that I have now are all brand new. That come from here. All of my previous porcelain dolls, I think we counted, I had about 12 or 13, gone. They were all in the boxes. They were beautifully wrapped with bubble wrap and everything. They are gone. Probably broken, shattered, whatever, they are gone. You know, things like that, ornaments that were given to us over the years by relatives, gone. Casey and Hannah's, some of their little friends gave them ornaments for Christmas, gone. Martin did a lot of off-road racing, motorbikes and cars. He had medals and trophies. Gone. Martin had a lot of little model cars that he built up over the years, and also when Shell and Ferrari, sorry, if you're from South Africa, Shell and Ferrari did a whole batch of little Ferrari cars that you could collect, and then Lego went in as well, and you could actually build up the Ferrari because it was Lego. So every time those came out with the Shell garages, I would go out and buy Martin all of those sets. Some were for Valentine's Day, some were for his birthday, whenever it happened to fall. So those were gifts from me, all gone. His back, he had other cars that he'd been collecting over his childhood. He had a Ford F-150, gone. Other things that were sort of more irreplaceable are things like the girls' fluffy toys, fluffy or plushie or stuffed toys, whatever you call them. I know Casey and Hannah and Leah all got one from the hospital that they were born in, gone. Teddy bears that people gifted them when they were babies, gone. Leah had some toys that in that toy box that we had labeled toys was some of Casey and Hannah's treasured toys, some of my treasured toys. For girls who are about my age, I had a Hollywood hair Barbie. She's gone. You know, things like that. It's all these little things that are irreplaceable that okay, yes, I could go on eBay and buy a Barbie, but it's not my Barbie. You know what I mean? It's not the Barbie I've had all this time. The toys I suppose we could probably replace, but it's not easy to find them, and sometimes you get a one of a kind, and so it is irreplaceable. Now I'm gonna get onto Martin's tools. Now, yes, I know tools are replaceable, I'm not an idiot, but Martin's grandfather left tools to his dad, and his dad left tools to him. There is quite a few things here that had belonged to his grandfather, that had gone from his grandfather to his dad to him. Those were in the boxes. We actually had a special toolbox marked with everything in it, and the toolbox was completely separate to all the other boxes. So I think when they broke in there, when they took them, they probably just ran off with the toolbox. There was so much stuff in there that I don't even know what some of the stuff is. But all those tools, whether they were given to him or whether he bought them with his own money, all those tools are gone. And it's not that he can't replace them. He can replace them, but there is no more sentimental value from those tools. Okay, so now the initial shock is over, and we've gone and we've looked through things and we've realized what's gone, what's not gone. And yeah, it was horrible. Okay, it's really difficult to accept. It feels like you're hurting inside because all those things that are irreplaceable, please don't misunderstand me. I don't care about the replaceable stuff. I'm thinking of the irreplaceable stuff, is gone. You feel helpless. The girls were probably cross with us because we'd put their stuff in this warehouse. We had lost precious items. They have lost precious items. So many things that they couldn't replace, so many things that we couldn't replace. Very special keepsakes from family and friends, and Martin from each other, things like that. While I was making this video, I sat and thought about it, and I thought the only way to really compare this is to say, if your home got broken into and your thieves stole the most precious things to you, that's how it feels. The only difference is now you don't need to worry about the burglars coming back. But that's not the point. The point is that you have lost something that is precious to you. Somebody has come along and taken something from you that is special to you. I was angry, extremely angry. There's a joke, hopping mad. I was hopping mad because the tears had gone. Now I was angry. I haven't mentioned this on my channel very much, but I am a Christian, and I felt that I needed to pray for my anger, because my anger was I was so angry and so hurt. And when you're angry and you're hurt, you don't make very good decisions, and you're pretty nasty. So I had to take a moment, not in that moment. Of course, there was anger and tears and everything. But once the moment had gone, I needed to calm myself down. I needed to be rational. So I sat down and I prayed. And I asked the Lord to help me with my anger. And I prayed that justice would be served to the people who took things that didn't belong to them. Not only us. Please don't misunderstand me. This video is not just, oh, poor me. No, I know a lot of people were affected by those riots. So I prayed for justice for those who caused the problems, not only in the country, but to others around the world who this affected. Okay. It took me a while to deal with the loss of the irreplaceable things. There is one thing that kept coming back to my mind, and the Lord works in mysterious ways. He speaks to us, and he kept telling me this one thing. And this is a Bible verse. I will also put it at the bottom of the screen just so that you can see it. And I'm reading from the New King James Version, and this is Matthew 6:19-21. Do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Okay, so the Lord put that on my heart. It's on my heart because I had lost a lot of important things. But it's more important to prepare my heart for heaven one day. So that Bible verse sat on my heart for a long time. And I actually went and read the Bible verse, and I realized that what the Bible was saying is this is temporary. This life, those things were all temporary. Yes, they were irreplaceable. Yes, they are still precious to me. Yes, Martin's tools are still precious to him, even although we can't have them. Yes, the girls' things are still precious, even although we cannot have them. But what's more important and more precious is our family, and that we have a future, and one day hopefully it will be heaven, and no thief can steal things from us in heaven. Now, to move on. I'm sure you may have been going, whoa, what about insurance? No, we didn't insure the boxes because, like I said to you, the irreplaceable things don't have a value. They are priceless to us. So yes, we didn't insure the boxes, so we didn't get any money or compensation for the loss of our boxes. We have had a chance to replace some of the things like the Blu-ray player, the kids' DVDs, Martin's Blu-rays, some of the model cars and stuff we have been able to replace. I was actually able to find one of my porcelain dolls that I had in South Africa. I was able to find her on a website, and I ordered her from a lady, and she is the exact replica of the one I had in South Africa. So some of the things we have been able to replace. So the insurance wasn't really important. Every now and then it will creep back up on us, and someone will go, oh, you know what was in the boxes? Someone will go, oh, you know what was in the boxes? And we'll go, what? And they'll go, said item. And you'll go, oh, okay. So it never really leaves you. That feeling of losing those things never really leaves you, because it is a constant reminder when you can't find something, you go, oh, it was in the boxes. For about a year, I actually thought that my wedding tiara, because when Martin and I got married, I was given a tiara, and it's very special to me. And I had it put away I had brought it with me in my suitcase, and I put it away somewhere in my wardrobe down in our first rental. And when we moved to the second rental, as we were packing up, I found it. And I was so happy, because I was more than convinced that it had been in the boxes. And it was one of the things I was so sad about. But when I did find it, I happily cried, because I was like, yay! It was actually with me the whole time. And as I was reflecting on this to do this video, I was chatting with the family and just having a word with them and saying, you know, what about this? What about that? And Casey was saying that, yes, it is sad that we've lost the boxes. Yes, there are irreplaceable things that we can't replace. But it just goes to show you that we actually didn't need some of those things because we have lived quite happily without them for almost 3 years. And when you look at it like that, you realize, maybe some of the things, please don't misunderstand me here, maybe some of the things that we think are so important are actually not that important in our lives. And again, I'm not saying the irreplaceable things like the baby books and treasured little items that we had and tools and dinner sets, and not that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the other things that were in the boxes that we actually really didn't need because we've lived without them. So maybe if you're looking at packing up your stuff, maybe really go through it nicely with a fine-tooth comb and really think about the stuff that you're taking with you across the sea or wherever you're going. If I can give any advice to anybody moving countries and you are shipping items to your new country, this is my advice. Maybe budget to get your things shipped at the same time that you leave the country. Now, I know I said we were on a very tight budget and we were trying to just weigh things out very carefully. And of course, us getting to Martin was way more important than getting the boxes to England. But if I can, as someone who's gone through it, if I can give you some advice, try your best to budget and get your boxes to leave the country you are leaving at the same time that you are. Yes, I don't think they'll arrive at the same time. Well, no, they definitely won't arrive at the same time. But try and get them as quick as, as soon as possible. Rather try and get them out of the country that you're leaving as soon as possible. I do understand that there are logistics involved, like getting the correct address, etc. But for example, if you are on a spousal visa like we are, or whatever visa you have, I'm pretty sure that you might need an address for your visa. Like we needed an address and a lease agreement. Try and look at it that way. So once you have an address of where you're going to be living, try and send your boxes there so that you will know where you're going to be. You're going to be there, so the boxes can arrive there. If that is completely out of your budget and you cannot afford to do that, and you cannot afford to leave the boxes at the same time that you are leaving the country, possibly look at the option of speaking to family or friends and asking them if you could store your boxes with them. Now, yes, that doesn't guarantee anything, but isn't it a little bit more of a comforting thought that your family or friends have your boxes than if they're standing in a warehouse? Okay. You also need to then chat to the shipping company, that the shipping company would fetch it from your friend or family member's house. And obviously, when the time is right, they will ship it to you. So, like I said at the beginning of this video is very different from my usual videos. It is an emotional video. It is a difficult video because I've had to speak about things that are uncomfortable to talk about. Nobody wants to talk about rioting and damages and burning and losing things. But sometimes if you talk about it, and I honestly feel like sometimes if these videos can help others go through the things that we have gone through. And I know for a fact that we are not the only family who lost things in those riots. There was many people who were affected by those riots. I'm not talking about the South Africans that were still living there. I'm talking about people who were shipping things over. There was a lot of people who got affected by those riots. But of course, the saddest thing is how the South African people were affected. I mean, like I said, they had to queue for food. It was terrible. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it from where I'm coming from. And I hope that if you know anyone who is about to immigrate, or they're packing up, or they're moving, or whatever, please share the video. Like I say, sometimes watching a video when you're going through it yourself is helpful. I hope that whatever you are doing today, you have a wonderful day, and I really and truly am so grateful that you've watched this video all the way through. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that I will see you in my next video. So, bye!